Team USA is poised for another gold medal. It's been a dominant run since the Redeemed team spurred onto the scene in 2008. They're going for their 5th consecutive gold medal, and they're littered with stars. LeBron James is coming back for the Olympics for the first time in 12 years, probably his last time going for gold, going in the Olympics. He's actually the USA's flag bearer for the Olympic opening ceremony. Really prestigious honor for LeBron. They have Kevin Durant, they have Anthony Edwards, starting off with some younger talent, and just so many other big time players. Jason Tatum, you have Drew Holiday, Derek White, who's been a not late addition after Kawhi Leonard had to leave the team due to a knee injury. What's new with that? But still, Team USA should be heavy favorites to win the gold medal, but they definitely face a tougher test. The host nation's fans is going to be a tough ask with Victor Wembanyama, who will preview how this French team will look, but definitely is going to be elevated in terms of competition in years past. And let's break down how this tournament actually is, because it's interesting. You have 12 total teams, and they're broken into groups of 4, groups A, B, and C. The top 2 teams from each group advance to the quarterfinals, and then the last 2 spots are dictated by tiebreakers amongst the 3rd place finishers in each group, and they will get the last 2 spots. After that, you have another draw, and that is how the bracket is going to be laid out. Looking at Group A, it is very top heavy. You have the Boomers of Australia, and they're led by star player Patty Mills, and he's been a big time player for Australia. Australia has some NBA pedigree, especially with the NBL kind of gaining some momentum in a developmental league, but also just their homegrown talent. We've seen Patty Mills be a household name in the NBA, but they also have some younger players and older players on this roster. In the last 2 Olympic appearances in 2016, they just narrowly missed getting a bronze medal against Spain, but then were able to redeem themselves with a bronze medal in the Tokyo Olympics 3 years ago. Now, this team has a lot of NBA talent and former NBA talent. They have guys like Josh Giddey, they have Joe Ingles, Dante Exum, some really good NBA players who are role players but still are very good. They've been on this Olympic team time in and time out, some household names in the NBA, but also been able to get the chemistry, the cohesiveness of this Australian team. They also have Matthew Dellavedova, who's back again, and they will be a very tough team come Olympic play, and they could definitely go far depending on how things play out. We also have Team Canada, who is littered with a bunch of young superstar talent, especially with SGA. Team Canada has been kind of sneaking up on the horizon. I don't know if they really can put everything together. They have a lot of talent, but it's a matter of how the chemistry works out, because it's going to be a big ask for to see how you throw all these stars together. You have SGA, you have a few wing defenders like Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Those are going to be really good in locking up guys on the perimeter. But then you have Kelly Olynyk as well. He's going to be their captain for Team Canada. And they also have Jamal Murray, a very good shooting guard for the Denver Nuggets. So this is a very good team, at least on paper. And they did give Team USA a run for their money, but I have to see how this all plays out come the Olympics. But I think they're definitely a favorite to advance into the quarterfinals, because looking at the other 2, so you have Greece and Spain. Greece is making their first appearance in a long time, and this is obviously led by Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he's pretty much the only NBA player on this roster. Obviously a superstar, top 5 player, but like we said, it takes a team to go far. I like Giannis, but I think he has to go absolutely bonkers for them to even stand a chance, and it's why I think they might be a team that finishes last in this group. You also have Spain, who has been a powerhouse in the past, but it's been quite some time since they've been actually really good. The Gasol brothers have retired, and they do have some past pedigree in 2008 and 2012. They finished with silver medals, pushing Team USA very well, but had to settle for a bronze medal in 2016, didn't even medal in 2020. So it's definitely not the same Spanish team that we're used to. I think the only real NBA commodity they have is Rudy Fernandez, who hasn't played in the league in several years. So I also think Spain is not a team that's a serious contender in the tournament, but it's definitely thinking how this group is going to shake out. I'm going to pick Australia to win the group. I just think they have that chemistry, something they build on, and that's something to watch because I think Canada is the better team, and it might come down to a head-to-head meeting between these two, and that's where I think maybe Australia gets them on the first matchup. But if they were to have a rematch in the knockout stages, that's where I think it gets a little dicey, and I think maybe by then Canada will get their sea legs underneath them and beat them in a rematch. Looking at Group B, it's very, very top heavy. You have host nation France, led by star phenom rookie generational talent Victor Wembanyama. I think he is going to be so good in this tournament for the Olympics and also continue to add to his legend. He also has the other Twin Tower, the defensive player of the year in Rudy Gobert. He was an integral part in the French team that went all the way, even beating USA in group play, but fell just short of a gold medal in the Tokyo Olympics. This team is back, and they also have a mixture of old and young NBA talent. I think some of the younger talent you see is guys like Bilal Coulibaly, who is on the Washington Wizards. He's a 3-and-D type of player. He's already a starter for this French national team, which is saying something, and I think he's going to mesh really well and continue to develop as a player. You have some veteran players like Nando De Colo, who's been out of the league for a while, but I think he's been a pretty good player in FIBA. You also have Evan Fournier as well. He's been a role player for various NBA squads, and I think he's been very good for France as well in the past. You have Brazil, who isn't touting a lot of household names. I don't think they're going to go too far either. Japan, same thing. But you also have Germany. Dennis Schroeder is going to be a guy that's going to lead the Germans to, I think, the knockout stage. I don't know how far after that, but they can definitely make the best out of a kind of a top-heavy group, especially between the weaker opponents. I don't think that they stand much of a chance against France, but if they can get that second spot locked up soon, that would be excellent for Germany. Group C is also interesting, but again, very top-heavy. You have Team USA, and they have so many superstars, and I think it would be crazy to think that they wouldn't win this group, so I'm going to pick them automatically to win this group. But I think other teams like Serbia, I think they're going to be a really good second place team. Obviously the Joker and Bogdanovic are their best players, and I think they have had some chemistry being on Team Serbia for quite some time in the national level. You have South Sudan, who is a new addition. They played an admirable game against Team USA in a warm-up game, and I thought that they will be a team that could be a surprise in this tournament, just how good they played Team USA. And then you have Puerto Rico, and I think unfortunately for Puerto Rico, they're just happy to be here. Other than Jose Alvarado, I think they don't really have a lot of talent. It's just very, very hard to navigate a group with Team USA and Serbia already there. They could be arguably one of the worst teams in this tournament, but you know, you're making the Olympics at the end of the day. I think it's going to be USA 1 and then Serbia 2. Now, looking at how this really lines up, it's hard to say, make a prediction based off of how we don't know how the knockout stage is going to play out or how even the bracket will look. But assuming how things go, depending on matchups, it all depends on how these contenders are. I think it's the USA and the field. And in the field, you have France, you have Serbia, Australia, and Canada. I think those four teams each have a very good shot, but then just the medal, remember there's only 3 spots, and if you're any one of those contending teams, you want to avoid Team USA until the gold medal match. There's no redos, there's no chance of redemption, nothing. So if you want a medal, definitely at least try to get to the semifinals and play them, and then, you know, it's all bets are off. But ideally you want to play them in the gold medal match. Regardless of how things shake up, I think depending on how matchups are, I still think I'd love to see a France-USA gold medal match, and yet again, I'm gonna pick the USA to get gold. France settles for silver, no harm in that, no slouching there, and the bronze medal is wide open. I think Canada has a shot. I think Australia has a shot. Serbia. I'm thinking amongst those teams, it's going to be really, really tough. Like I said, it really could come down to Australia and Canada, but I think between the two in a rematch, I'm gonna pick Team Canada to get the bronze. My bold prediction is that South Sudan makes the knockout stage, and that would be really, really cool. But other than that, it's gonna be really tough to see how these teams navigate and try to avoid Team USA. There's no real control in that because it's a pot. It really just comes to luck of the draw. And maybe if you're on the other teams, you also get Germany or South Sudan in your quarterfinal matchup. That would be pretty ideal. If you get one of those third place teams, that's going to be a huge boat for your confidence to get at least to the semifinals and that much closer to a medal. But yeah, Team USA 1, France 2, and I'm going to pick Team Canada to finish with the bronze.